Hello and welcome to another edition of Insights with Category Leaders. I'm John Lostock, editor of C-Store Decisions magazine, and today I'm happy to be joined by Ron Mauro, who is the sales team leader for the convenience channel for Haleon, formerly known as GlaxoSmithKline or GSK. Hi, Ron. How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. So, some exciting changes at GSK, starting with the name change. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. It's actually more than just a name change. We used to be the over the counter consumer healthcare business and the arm of the greater pharmaceutical and vaccine company GlaxoSmithKline. Post the joint venture that we had with Pfizer and getting their wonderful brands such as Advil and Chapstick into our portfolio, the OTC business has become pretty much the biggest OTC business in the world, which then strategically GlaxoSmithKline decided to spin the consumer arm off into its own entity, which happened back in July, mid-July. We've spun off and become the company Haleon, have our own stock ticker and everything. So we are no longer part of the GlaxoSmithKline pharmaceutical vaccine company. They still exist separately, but Haleon, as I said, the largest OTC manufacturer in the world now.
Very nice. And we got to meet out at one of the convenience directions meetings and take a look at some of the planograms on the HBC side. Things have changed quite a bit. It is really a strong core category in convenience stores now. So what are some of the trends you're seeing in HBC?
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I mean, with obviously the pandemic posing a lot of challenges on supply chains, putting pressures on not only just on logistically getting things from place to place. We've got everything from one of the biggest areas of a pain point for us has been foil. You know, just sourcing foil, which sometimes leads to some of the smaller packaging that we use for things like Advil, little 2-count pouches, Excedrin 2-count pouches. But what's interesting that we've seen is we maybe have had some pressures on that part of the business. And maybe also because of some of the inflationary pressures as well, we've seen the larger bottle business, even within C-Store, the 24-count bottles actually see some growth because I think people see the value in maybe sizing up and trading up into that larger bottle, which provides more value than maybe the single dose. As we know in the convenience channel, more than 80% of what's purchased in C-Store is consumed within an hour. So a lot of our brands are immediate need. They have that pain that they're suffering right now, and so they want to use it. So sometimes maybe prior to the pandemic, they just buy that single dose for that time, that one-time use. But we're seeing a lot of trade up more recently and getting more at the value of some of those larger bottles. One of the other big trends we've seen is one of our big brands, Emergency, an immune supplement brand. As soon as the pandemic started, that was one of those brands we couldn't keep in stock around the country for obvious reasons. We've come close to doubling our capacity of manufacturing on that brand, and we're still having trouble to keep it in stock, quite frankly, which is a good and bad problem at the same time, right? Demand continues to be high, but we continue to chase after that. And it'll be interesting to see, if that trend continues on as the pandemic sort of settles into maybe the normal way of being for the foreseeable future. But we definitely continue to see strong trends on immunity supplements there. One other trend that actually is something I am surprised to not see so far is especially in the HBC standpoint. We've seen some shift in private label when we look at edible products in the convenience channel. There's definitely a nice lift in private label there. One of the interesting things that I haven't noticed is while private label HBC is growing, it's not growing at the pace of, especially our Haleon brands are growing. And I think that comes back to that immediate need and trust around if you've got a headache or you've got indigestion, people seem to be trusting that name brand and get the value out of that name brand. So I kind of expected with inflation to see a little bit more transfer over to private label, but haven't seen it yet.
And looking post-pandemic, any trends that you think will stick around and new products? I think one of the things you showed me last time we got together was the convergence of two iconic pain relievers in one tablet, which I thought was pretty cool. I'd never seen there was a Tylenol and Advil in one bottle, which in one pill,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think you're referring to our Advil dual action. Want to make sure I preface this. It's not Tylenol and Advil in a bottle. It's the active ingredient that you find in Tylenol. So it's Advil, which is ibuprofen, and then we've added acetaminophen for the first time into one tablet. So those are the two number one ingredients that are recommended by doctors for different indications around pain and fever reduction. And for the first time ever, we got FDA approval to combine those two core active ingredients into one in Advil Dual Action. That's one of the first innovations in pill form analgesics in over 25 years. It's doing tremendously well. You get the power of both of those leading ingredients into one. So that's one very exciting new innovation that we currently have in the market. Another one in the pain category is Voltaren, which switched from an RX to OTC medication. That's topical pain reliever. It is an NSAID. I'm pretty sure it's the only and first NSAID from a topical pain reliever that's FDA approved in the United States. That right out the gate, when we launched it nationally a little over a year ago, actually about closer to 18 months ago now, did very well right out the gate. So well that we decided we need to come out with a trial convenient size SKU pretty quickly, which we now have available as well. A lot of other fascinating, fun things on the vision board down the road that I can't talk to about now. But definitely one of the strengths about Haleon going forward is we will continue to look at science-based innovation. We will continue to go after RX to OTC switches as the number one OTC company in the world.
And of course, Haleon will continue to be a trusted partner in the convenience store industry. So as you look to redo your planograms or expand your products, please reach out to Ron or your rep at Haleon. Ron, thanks so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Very, very great stuff. Appreciate it.
And I look forward to talking with you hopefully again real soon at another Convenience Directions meeting. So thanks, everyone. Look forward to having you at another Insights with Category Leaders session. Have a good afternoon, everyone.